It's breaking box office records. It's already, after only about a week, the #1 movie of 2023 by leaps and bounds, too. But it is getting killed by the critics. Let's talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the Super Mario Brothers movie. I've dressed for the occasion, as you can see. I have a couple of different Super Mario shirts, but this one is, I think, my favorite because I love a good Raccoon Mario or Tanuki Mario, whatever you want to call him. But anyway, this movie is in theaters right now, and it is just killing it at the box office. Amazing opening weekend. Second weekend was even almost $100 million just in the U.S., which, we don't hear about these kind of numbers anymore. It's within spitting distance of becoming the #1 animated film since the pandemic started. Currently, that record is held by Minions: The Rise of Gru, which is by Illumination Studios, and that is the same studio bringing us the Super Mario Brothers movie. So they're on a hot streak right now. Love to see that. But this movie's getting destroyed by critics all over the place. So we're going to unpack that and talk about maybe why and get my take on this movie here in just a moment. But first, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. I've got a ton of great stuff on the channel. I try to put a new review up just about every day, movie review, TV review, what have you. So please consider subscribing down below. Hit that notification bell so you can be made aware of all of my new videos coming onto the channel. And check out the Facebook group as well, the Twitter, all that stuff is in the description down below there. All right, so let's talk about this movie. When I first heard about them making it, I sort of thought, okay, first of all, the original live action one is classically terrible. I've never seen it, but from 30 years ago. So do we need another movie from the Super Mario franchise? I don't know. And I heard Chris Pratt was attached to it, which, like, his roles are all kind of the same, Guardians of the Galaxy, Jurassic World. He always kind of plays the same type of character these days. But then I started seeing who else is in the movie. Okay, you've got Charlie Day playing Luigi. You've got, Jack Black, Seth Rogen, Keegan-Michael Key, Anya Taylor-Joy, Fred Armisen. So, all right, now we've got a cast that not only I enjoy their movies, but I've enjoyed their voice work in movies. Kung Fu Panda had Seth Rogen and Jack Black in it. And even Chris Pratt, the Lego movie, he did pretty well there as Emmett. And then, some of these other people have just kind of showed up randomly in different animated movies. So, all right. And then I started seeing trailers. And I'm not a trailer guy. In fact, I try to avoid them at all costs. But when I take my nephews to the movies, we try to get there a little early because they like their snacks. And, we got to get situated and everything. So I end up seeing actually more, PG-rated trailers, kids trailers than anything else. And so the first time I saw, like, the full trailer for this, I was like, okay, this actually could work. It looks kind of funny. The voice actors seem to be doing an okay job. And then the reviews came out, and critically, this was getting, panned all over the place. But audiences are loving it. It's at like a 96% or something on Rotten Tomatoes. Everybody I personally know that has seen this, thought it was really great and a lot of fun. So, my history with Mario is, look, I'm 45, so I grew up with Mario and that universe. My brothers and I got an NES back in 87, maybe 86, 87, or something like that, and it came with Super Mario Brothers. So we played the heck out of that game, and then of course over the years all the other things, Mario Party and Mario Kart and Mario Sonic Olympics, and all the different iterations. Here's what I can't quite figure out about these critics. They must have enjoyed these games along the way, right? This is, not just a kid's thing, even if you think video games are just for kids, which they're not. But, even if you were to sort of be under that impression, okay. But, I was a kid 35 years ago playing Mario. So this has spanned the generations. My parents are in their 70s now, and they play Mario Kart with their grandkids, my brother's kids, because they have a Wii still. And, they played Super Mario Brothers with us back in the day when we were kids. So this is a movie I feel like you could say maybe it's for kids, but it really spans the generation. I don't know if there's a person alive really who is not aware of Mario, right? I mean, at this point, he's as ubiquitous as Superman or Mickey Mouse. Everybody knows Mario. And I would venture to say, I don't know, probably 75 to 80% of the adult population has played Mario at some point in their lives. I'm making that number up, but I mean, that seems reasonable to think. So let's talk about the negatives of this movie first, and then we'll get to the many positives. And maybe why critics are sort of, got a chip on their shoulder about it, or whatever. I will say that the plot is very slight. It's a very, very basic story. Essentially, it is Mario and Luigi's kind of origin story. They are, the plumbing brothers, and we start out seeing like one of their, old commercials, which is there's a lot of like Easter eggs in this movie, but and I won't really tell you about them, but anyway, they get transported into an alternate world and find themselves in the middle of a battle between the Mushroom Kingdom, led by Princess Peach, and the Koopas, led by the scene-stealing Jack Black as Bowser. In a movie where there's a lot of really great talent, and great characters and stuff. Jack Black as Bowser, steals just about every scene. He's so funny. He sings a song in the movie about Princess Peach that my nephews were singing the rest of the weekend. So yeah, you can't really go wrong with Jack Black. I love that he's sort of just stood the test of time as a great comedic actor. He's been a part of our lives for like, 20 plus years now at this point. But anyway, that's the whole story. I mean, it ends up being kind of a a kind of race, sort of story, because you have the Mario Kart element to it, and it becomes kind of a little bit of a war story because we've got the two factions here. But it's a very slight plot. Right. So, okay, maybe that's one issue with the critics. I think another one might be that it is funny, but it's a lot of like inside jokes about Mario. It's a lot of like Easter eggs. It's a lot of, oh, here's the game where they did this, and here's this reference and whatever. But like I said, I feel like everyone just about has played a Mario game at some time in their lives, right? So you have this built-in audience, and yeah, there's a lot of fan service in this movie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and pretend like there's not. There is a lot of fan service, and there's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie, but who cares? Like, the humor is there. I think, okay, so let's translate or transfer to the good now. I think this is the funniest movie I've seen in a long time. Yeah, the jokes maybe could be a little more highbrow, a little more clever. Did I see some of the jokes coming? Yeah, sure. But there are so many references littered throughout. And obviously, the people who made this movie grew up on these games as well, just like I did. Aaron Hovarth and Michael Jelenic are the directors. Unfamiliar really with them. It was written by Matthew Fogel, whose name I also am not familiar with. But in any event, you could tell that the writers here and everybody involved, are players of these games and different iterations of it. Luigi, kind of gets separated from Mario early on and gets into this mansion. I never played Luigi's Mansion. I remembered its existence though, but that's the game that gave us, the Dry Bones characters and some of the other characters, and I had kind of forgotten that. So the attention to detail here is great, and the score, melding the classic 8-bit theme songs of Mario with this great orchestral score. I thought was really clever. I thought it merged seamlessly with what we're seeing on the screen. And look, yeah, there's a lot of like, fast things going on, and there's a bunch of jokes coming at you, and there's a bunch of crazy colors, and, stuff like that does actually sort of bother me a little bit with kids movies, because I feel like it's too much, it's overdone. It's been an issue with the Minions movies, if we're going to stay, with Illumination here, but also, recent things like the Addams Family cartoon movies or the Trolls movies, yeah, that is a little bit of a problem with me. But I didn't quite find that to be an issue here because there was so much to look at. And not in terms of just like, oh, here's this reference, here's this reference. They actually really incorporated it into the story pretty well, I thought. So look, is this going to be my top movie of the year, anything like that? No, it's not. It's, probably by year's end it won't even be in my, top 15, 20, 25. I don't know. Um, but here's the thing. This is going to be a lot of people's favorite movie of the year, and unlike movies that I think either have worn out their welcome or just aren't very well done, like recent Fast and Furious movies, recent Jurassic Park movies, a lot of the recent Marvel output. This, when somebody says to me at the end of the year, oh, my favorite movie of the year was the Super Mario Brothers movie, even if they're an adult, I'm fine. I'm sure that makes sense. It's certainly going to be pretty much every, 10, 11, 12-year-old kid's favorite movie of the year. That's for sure. And I think that's okay. I feel like these critics who are hating on it, I don't know. Did they forget the enjoyment of playing the game? I don't know. I feel like I'm the kind of, critic, if you want to call me that, that can appreciate both the highbrow stuff like, Tar and, some of the Oscar movies that were up, and also enjoy something like this that is, yeah, okay, the plot isn't, anything major. It's not trying to do anything super daring, maybe. But it's certainly reverent to the games. It incorporates that very well, and the voice acting here is good. I thought Chris Pratt actually did a good job as Mario. That was, I think, my biggest kind of apprehension probably going in. Other than memories of the the '93 live action movie, but that didn't even bother me. I thought he did a fine job. It actually, as I was watching the movie, I was just thinking how genuinely sad it makes me that there would be so many people in the world of movie criticism that can't find joy in this movie. This was a joy to watch. It was so much fun. And listen, yeah, I took my nephews, and that certainly probably helped. But I think even if I saw this by myself, in an empty theater where there weren't even any kids around enjoying the movie, I think I would have enjoyed it just the same. This is a fun movie. I leave the Super Mario Brothers movie with a B+. All right, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Dan Reviews It.